Hi there, a very good morning to you. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having, something that they are working on, and I hope everything around you is going well. So I am doing well, and I just only need to cut my hair. That's what I need to do. Otherwise, today I think we are going on day 14, and we are just left with one day where tomorrow we are going to do our last session. Tomorrow I think we are going to be doing our last session on the leadership summit. It has been an amazing journey. It has been an amazing route where we were learning about becoming the best version of ourselves, about getting better and improving on the things we can do and improving on how we can do things. We have been having a wonderful and a great journey, and today there is something that I want to talk to you about, something that I want to share about, which is a peace of mind, that we are living in an environment, which every signal around is, give up, lose your mind, nothing is going to work, nothing is going the way you thought it will go. There is so much around us happening right now that if we are not mindful and careful of what we are allowing ourselves to feel and allowing ourselves to focus on, it will make us lose our mind. There is so much around us happening, the unexpected outcomes, unexpected activities that are going on right now, that if we are not mindful and careful on what we allow in the inside of us, we are going to end up losing a lot in our lives. Therefore, that's why I saw it fit and very, very important that we talk about, crafting and having a way to go around on a peace of mind. Welcome for those who just joined us today. And I'm very proud of you, those who have joined us from day one up until, tomorrow we are doing our last day on day 15. That has been an amazing journey. And your messages, your emails, your texts, I have received them, and I am very, very, very happy to see that this has added some value in your life. That's all it's about, has added value in what you do. Hi, Sibusisiwe. Good morning. I hope everything is going well. How is it going from Eswatini? How is it going right now from Eswatini during this time? Hi, Lisa. I see you are watching from Tokwe. The commitment you guys have been showing is really quite amazing, and I pray that whatever is it that you want to build in your life, whatever is it that you want to improve in your life, you are going to get better and better in it, and I'm sure you will get better as we keep on developing yourself, as we keep on improving how you do things, as we keep on improving your commitment to your self-development. As you do that, you are going to set yourself higher and higher and higher every single day. Mr. Donald Moeti, thank you so much, sir, for joining us every morning from day one. That's the commitment that I'm really, really proud of seeing, that people can commit, to being the best version of ourselves. And the truth of the matter, like I've shared in the past days, is that you can only get as much as you want in your life by becoming as much better as you are in your life. So I think the commitment to being the best version of you, the commitment to being a better person, that's what sets everything in motion. I've seen my life change from a school dropout, from the young man who was supposed to be taken to prison, from a young man who people were saying, you are going to get killed by people, or you are going to end up in prison. And I've seen my life change from the perception that people used to look at me with to what I am today, because of my development and my decision to work on myself. I've seen everything else that I used to be, I let go of it as I focus on becoming the person I am today. And so when people today say Mr. Makwana, it makes me prideful, because years back, the only name people knew in our community was Mabojo, which I don't know where it came from, but in that identity, I was not the person that I am today. And everything else shifted and got better on the way until I am the person I am today. So you are not always going to end with what you started with. So all these sessions that we have been making day one from until today, I think it's going to help us to get better and better on the way. I see Lisa Are, morning, Busi, and Amen, Mr. Makwana. And it's a tough journey for everyone here in Swatini. We are supposed to end our lockdown this week, but we wait to address from the government, but we still show up. Yeah, it's really a tough time, and I pray that God sees you through. I pray that God sees your country through, that all of us, we are going through a lot, and at the end of the day, I believe that this too shall pass, that we are going to make a breakthrough from this. We are going to be able to make a breakthrough from this. Maybe I should start our topic of the day today which is about the price to pay for a peace of mind. The price to pay, for a peace of mind. That constantly we are faced with a lot around us, and with what's happening around us, it is easy to lose your mind. With so much happening around us right now, it's easy to get in a place where you make worry your area of specialization. With so much happening around us now, it's easy that you make stress your area of specialization. It is easy to move from your joyful, upbeat, forthcoming person to becoming a depressed and, someone who is dealing with anxiety, someone who is dealing a lot of issues because of what is happening around us. And therefore, we must be very mindful in time of crisis like this, that we don't lose ourselves on the way. We don't lose our identity on the way. We are aware that there's so much pain around us, so much unexpected outcomes around us, but we are not going to allow that to dictate us to become the people we are not. That when you are listening to me right now, there is no excuse why you are not going to hold on to your identity, why you are not going to hold on to who you are, why you are not going to hold on to the front line and say, I am going to fight this battle. And by doing that, I am going to fight my internal thoughts. I am going to fight my internal thinking. I'm going to be interrupting my thinking patterns so that all the time I'm not going to catch myself thinking about the things that I don't have control over. Anxiety comes from a habit, and a habit of worrying every single day. That when we allow worry to be our area of focus and specialization, we get in a position where every single day now we are operating from a level of worry. And therefore, worry clouds our judgment, worry clouds our thinking patterns, worry clouds the way we can do things. And then at the end of the day, we are not able to make any progress because we are constantly worried about what may go wrong. That even when we are in a path which can enable us to make breakthroughs, we are not able to make breakthroughs, not because of the outside resources, not because of the outside problems, but because of our internal world. That inside of us, when we cultivate worry, we are going to reap worry in the outside of us. That so many of us today, we are not able to uphold the best standards we had for our relationships, the best standards of our work ethic, the best standards of our dreams and visions that we have, because we have allowed worry to penetrate through our walls of our hearts, our walls of our mind. That most of what is happening in the inside is deviating us from the path we want to take. It's deviating us from the journey we want to be part of. So every single day we are losing, not because we are losers, but because we have allowed worry to take root in our heart. And most of the time I see people say, I am looking for peace of mind, and I will have a peace of mind as soon as my job is given to me, as soon as I find a job, as soon as my relationship goes well, as soon as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So most people are looking for the peace of mind in the outside. But the statement I want to introduce this topic with is that a peace of mind is an internal job. A peace of mind is an internal job. You are not going to buy any peace of mind. You are not going to be borrowing any peace of mind from people. But sometimes when you are saying, I am waiting for this to happen so that I am waiting for this to come so that I'm waiting for so and so to do so and such so that that we may be waiting forever, and we end up degrading our value because we don't feel happy, we don't feel well, we don't feel taken care of, we don't feel loved if we are waiting for the external environment to provide a circumstance which it may never provide. And the thing I've seen about life is this: when you are looking for rice, life always provides soft porridge. When you are looking for money, life always provides you with ideas. You are not getting what you want, you are getting something you can work on with. And therefore, when it provides something you don't want, you go around looking for someone who has what you want so that you may exchange. That there is always something we have to do. There is always the work we have to do. In creating a peace of mind is an internal job, and therefore you are not always going to get what you want. It may seem like it's far from what you wanted, but everything else that you are getting every single day is setting a layer after layer of preparing you for the things you need. And therefore, most people are losing their minds because they wanted money, but ideas came. Now, they are not able to turn those ideas into money. They are not able to turn those ideas into enterprising business ideas. And therefore, every single day, they are stuck with the little they have. All of us, we have the little we have. So if we are not mindful of what we can do right now, we are going to be stuck in a place of worry. We are going to be stuck in a place of anxiety. We are going to be stuck in a place of not being able to get the things we want out of life. And therefore, a peace of mind is an internal job. And you owe it to yourself to wake up every single day and say, I am going to disrupt any thinking patterns that are leading me to the person that I don't want to become. We all get anxiety. We all get sad. We all get happy. We all get excited. We all get disappointed. But the people who are able to push the needle forward every single day, those who are able to make progress every single day, they are aware that their thinking patterns is what brings their reality. Their perspective is what brings their reality. Their mindset is what brings their reality. And therefore, they are willing and intentional to disrupt the thinking patterns that has nothing to do with the person they want to become. We are who we are because of the thought patterns we have allowed in our lives. Whatever you have cultivated along the way is what we are going to reap. If you plant spinach today, 15 days after sometimes, spinach will show up. If you plant watermelons, 15 days, 25 days, whatever days the life cycle of watermelon will show up. And therefore, whatever you plant, you are going to reap. You are not going to reap what you did not plant. And therefore, the same is with our thoughts. Our reality is where it is right now because of the thinking patterns we have been planting over time. And therefore, we can change our reality today by changing our thinking patterns. And we can change the way we feel, our peace of mind level, by changing our thinking patterns and our commitment to getting better and improving as individuals. That is what we have, and that's the choice we have in our personal life. That's the identity we need to start building by being intentional on what we are building in our minds, in our thoughts, in what we do, in our perspective, and in our mindset. Right? So there are some few key principles that I'm going to share with you on how do we build, the peace of mind. How can we move away from the busyness of life, from just following what other people are doing? I still remember the words in the song For a Dancer. There's a song called For a Dancer. The song was sung by Jackson Brown. Jackson Brown is saying, dance, show the moves that were shown by those people who came before you. The moves that only you can do because you have been taught to do that. But before you pass, make sure that you design your own move so that you can pass it to the generations to come. That as we grow up in our family setup, in our business environments, there are certain principles and habits that have been adopted to become a norm. That's why people say that's not normal. So people say something is normal when they have been doing it and they've been making it part of their norms every single day. Now, there are certain habits that our environment and our community has built over time that are keeping us where we are today. In order for us to experience a new environment and to move to another level of self-awareness, which is something I'm going to be teaching up a lot on my upcoming webinars. I am going to be hosting webinars from tomorrow. I'll be working on the webinars that are coming. So make sure you continue to watch our page for opportunities that are going to come. You must be part of them. It's going to be much interactive. It's going to be much empowering. So make sure you are part of them. This is through the Empowered Second Leadership Academy. If you want to register, make sure you register today. Today, make sure you contact me. That from now onwards, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, you are part of a growing environment. You are part of a growing, people who are willing to see the best version of themselves. So now, if we don't raise our level of self-awareness, we are stuck on the normality of what people are doing today. So most people today, we are stuck in the routine of what other people are doing. So that routine on its own is stealing away our peace of mind. There are certain norms that the society have been able to adopt, and some of them we are seeing them today. They are being broken by the crisis. Which means what? Which means at any day you can choose to break from the cycle of the lifestyle and the mindset and the awareness that you were moving into. That you can start saying, I am aware that the decisions that I make can interrupt my thinking patterns and can set me free. I see Kabelo Maswabi saying good morning. Memo Kids are good morning, and already Tsamargahoro are good morning team. Lefi Souls are good morning coach. Good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today we are talking about the price for a peace of mind. The price for a peace of mind. So every single day we need to pay a price to have a peace of mind. There is so much happening around us, and one of the things that I'm going to share with you, point number one, is that we need to be mindful and aware to build a new belief systems in ourselves. We need to be mindful in building a new belief systems in our lives. That certain people today, they are not depressed because of the crisis. They are depressed because a certain way of doing things in their lives has been interrupted. A certain way of executing ideas, a certain way of thinking, and a certain way of doing things has been interrupted. And therefore, that has stolen them, that has stolen their peace, that has stolen their courage, that has stolen their faith, that has stolen their hope. And they feel like losing that job means the end of them. They feel like losing such kind of certain relationships is the end of them. So the belief system they have built over time, they have built around certain objects and certain activities. And therefore, they are constantly in pain. They are constantly in depression. They are constantly stressed. So they have built a habit now of feeling low, of feeling worthless, of feeling like they don't matter, of feeling like things are not going as planned. As that is life, things will not go as you planned. So now they are still holding on to a certain way of doing things. That during this crisis, they are not able to do the things they have been used to do. And therefore, they are stuck in a certain kind of belief system. Now, it's time now that they have to shift from how they thought things will go to accepting the reality as it is and starting to build step after step of building a new belief system. That so many people, the way they have been doing things has been interrupted, and it has interrupted with their peace of mind. It has interrupted with the way they think. It has interrupted with the way they do things. And now they are stuck in pain, not because they are experiencing something today, but because they are holding on to what was happening a year ago. They are holding on to the things they used to do. Last year was a good year. You know, there are people today who are still stuck on how good 2019 was. There are people today who are still stuck how their last relationship was beautiful. There are people today who are still stuck in how their last job was wonderful. There are people today who are still stuck on how, their weight in 6 months ago, they looked beautiful and now they can't fit into any clothes like me. Right? So, emotional being and peace of mind has been disturbed by that belief system. So, now, in a new day, we need to remove the engine that we were operating with from yesterday, that we were operating with from a year ago, and say, this is a new year and this is a new environment. We are seeing different things and I'm willing to do things differently. We don't feel so much pain when we experience a certain thing. We feel so much pain when we feel like what we think matters is not being able to fit in. There's so much pain we feel when we are not able to hold on to what we know we believe in. That this crisis is removing layer after layer and exposing us to the person we are today. This is the reality. This is the reality, and you are not dreaming. You are not watching any movie. This is the reality. You are going to be in your house for a month, 2 months, 3 months. It's different. We don't know how much we are going to be. And if you are still stuck in your internal reality of how things were a year ago, you are going to lose so much. You are not going to have a peace of mind, because now what you are thinking is you want things to be the way they were yesterday, and they are not the way they were yesterday. And you have to accept and admit that things have changed. And sometimes that's all healing comes from, that things have changed. And swallow in the bitter truth. I need to change. So we are not going to be operating from the engine and a software that we were using yesterday, because today is pushing us to behave in a different manner. And that causes stress. That causes anxiety. When you are, and I said in my book, Embrace Your Greatness, I said you are feeling stress and you are feeling pain because of a refused move, because of a certain move you are refusing to take. You are feeling a certain loss. You are feeling a certain depression because you are refusing to make certain moves. You are still hoping that things will get better as they used to be. You don't buy me flowers anymore. You don't say you love me anymore. You don't say you want me anymore. You don't tell me that you need me for the rest of your life. You are not showing that you are the man that I've met. You are not the wife that I've met before. You don't wear your red dress anymore. You don't put on your suit anymore. And the animals, we are holding into the animals, and we are not able to live today. We refuse to accept things as they are today. A price to pay for a peace of mind is being able to say, I am letting go what used to be. This is what it is right now. You was experiencing life as it is. You are not dreaming, my friend, to remind you. You are experiencing life as it is. Now, it's either you join in or build new habits, or you hold on to what was happening yesterday. Your choice. That's your choice. So even God said, I'm giving you the choice to choose between life and death. You choose. So you must make a decision that because I want to have a peace of mind, I am not going to hold on to what was happening yesterday. I am willing to move the needle forward, upward and forward. That's the way to go. That I am not going to let the things of yesterday to interrupt me to seeing the opportunities of today. That I am not going to let my thinking pattern of yesterday to stand on the way of my blessings for today. That today is bringing its new blessings. But guess what? There are people today who see today as a curse. There are people today who see today as the worst of the worst. There are people today who are looking at 2020, they say, where is it? This year comes from somewhere else. You know, they were not expecting it. The idea of what 2020 was going to look like people like me, I wrote it in my book, that is coming a year of growth, which I meant 2020. I wrote a book and I said a year of growth, which is coming. And when I looked around, I was like, God, why would you give me this idea of writing about a year of growth while it does not seem like growth? And the response was, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you are going to see it. If you see this year as a year that is going to be killing and taking away your family, and there it is, you are going to get it. As you see this year or this day as a curse, there you are going to get it. Whatever you think, you get. Whatever you think, you manifest. Whatever you think, you create. Your thinking is creating. And therefore, you can choose to say, I am releasing this book, a year of growth. But this is a time where people are removing layers of fakeness. Now they are exposed to that true self. They are exposed to that true belief. They are letting go what we used to think matters. This is the time where the things we used to think they matter, we realize they don't matter at all. And we are exposed now to see the things that really matters right now. I think it's even exposing me to really thinking that, oh man, the only thing that I can do to host a seminar, a 1-hour seminar, I cannot do it without a venue. I'm realizing that a venue does not matter. You can actually do this now, like you are attending a seminar right now. Now, we are exposed to what we thought matters, and we realized it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Now, we can cry about yesterday. or we can be hopeful and rise up and do something today. That is the choice we need to make. To have a peace of mind means to understand there is so much pain around us. Yes, of course, that is life. There is so much misunderstanding. Yes, this is life. It has to have misunderstandings. There is so much pain. There is so much heartbreaks. Yes, there has always been there. But I am choosing that with my mindset, I am going to move the needle forward by believing in the best life is going to offer. That I am going to do my best to shift from what I thought my life should be to living as it is right now and taking advantage of what I have today. So point number one is about a shift in our belief system. That the things we used to hold so dearly, oh man, I cannot live if I don't go out to church on Sunday. We realize that you can actually live, my friend. You can actually attend church online. No, Mr. Makwana, it's not the same. It's not the same, but that's the reality. I cannot believe that, I used to, on working Wednesdays, I will go to a restaurant on Wednesdays and I'll write my books there. That was my routine. That on Thursdays, I go to a certain restaurant, I'm writing there, I'm thinking there, it's my thinking time. It's not anymore. You have to change and do something. Now, when you refuse to change, you are going to be depressed. When you refuse to make a shift, you are going to be crying. Oh, the good old days. These are the new bad days. And you need to make a shift to say, I am not going to be stuck on what I wished for. I am going to work with what I have right now to build something for myself. That's the win. I'm not going to be thinking that, oh, my business, it's only operate this way, now because we cannot cope, we are taking out. Remember, survival of the fittest. Life it is. Life is about growth. It's about moving from one step to the next. It's about moving from one place to the next. You are not going to be stuck in step one because of what is happening in the outside. Your business is out of business. You don't no longer have a business. If you are still waiting for the good old days, these are the new good days. We are moving forward. And if you are stuck on what you thought should work out, it may not work out. The way we used to do it, I was so pumped up, this coming month, I said, okay, I finished writing my book. Now we are working on the launch now. I'm going to be doing a tour on the 2020 growth. I was supposed to be in Namibia. I'm not in Namibia now. I was supposed to plan something for South Africa. Not anymore, say. Should I sit down and lock myself and cry? No. I have to find ways of what can I do with what I have right now. A shift in belief system. So all of us, whether we like it or not, if we want to grow, the only thing we can do is making a shift. This world is changing. Things are changing so quick. We don't know. Even tomorrow we can wake up and we are told that we have to pay a certain fee to have a Facebook account. Things are changing. We don't know. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But people who are going to survive tomorrow are those who are going to say, yes, I know I used to do things this way, but things are changing. I need to change. I need to improve. Depression is a result of a refused move. Depression in workplaces is people saying that this is not leading me anywhere, but I just have to be stuck. I just have to be stuck in this job, and you are stuck and you are not happy. And most people, the gentlemen say, there's a lady who said in one of the seminars, I lead seminars on staff development, on staff improvement, on creating high-performance culture. I have a book called The Corporate Guide to Creating High-Performance Culture. I have another book called What Amazing Employees Do. That most people, when it's Sunday, we experience so much heartbreaks. We experience so much, what we call this, heart attacks on Sundays. Because people, they are not happy to go to the jobs they don't like. People are not happy to go to the businesses they are not happy to do. They are stuck in the old belief system that you must have a job. If you are not working, or you are a loser. But they are losing more of themselves than losing when they don't have a job and starting something for themselves. Belief system shift. So every single day, like I said before, marginal improvements, a shift in focus. We are fighting and battling to move forward. But forward is not like beautiful as I say forward and upward. It sounds good when I say it, but it's a challenging journey that you have to make decisions that you were avoiding to make. You have to make decisions that you were avoiding to make, that you need to move forward. That most people today, they experience heartbreaks and they experience heart attacks on Sunday because they don't want to go to work. And therefore, there are certain decisions we need to make. In order to have a peace of mind, there is a price to pay. Easy come, easy go. And emotional state, peace of mind is not an easy to get. You have to pay the price through your decisions, and you are shifting from the mindset of doing the things the way you used to do them before, and you are doing them differently today. All right? So that is it. Let me go to point number 2. Point number 2 is this. Number 1, I said, a shift in our mindset. We need to have a shift in our mindset. And number 2 is, when you want to have a peace of mind, you need to move towards something instead of moving away from something. When you want to have a peace of mind, you need to move towards something instead of moving away from something. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. There are so many people today who are not happy. There are so many people today who are depressed, challenged, disappointed, and their life and area of specialization is on those things. Why? Because they are trying to move away from something and not moving towards something. Here's what I mean. Most of the time, when we go through a breakthrough, when we go through maybe, let's say, a breakup, and you are trying to move away from the pain, right? That most people today, they are trying to move away from something, and they are logged into thinking about that something because every single day they are thinking of moving from that thing. And their reality continue to express that thing in their lives. They keep thinking of that person who broke them up. They're thinking of that person who broke their heart. They are thinking of that person who fired them. They are thinking of that person who said something nasty about them. They are thinking of someone who stole their husband or their spouse or their girlfriend or whoever. So every single day, they are thinking of moving away from that thing, and they are not able to move away because what you think about, you multiply, you elevate, you continue to be in your reality. Now, if you want to have a peace of mind, stop the system of trying to move or run away from something. Start a new journey of working towards something, of moving towards something. Now, you are taking a journey. When you move towards something, your focus is fixed on where you are going. When you are going from one city to the other, you don't go on reverse. You don't take your car, move, reverse on. Now you are heading to Francistown, reverse mode. You are heading to South Africa, reverse mode. It does not work like that. What behind you has to be behind you. So when you take steps forward and say, Mr. Makwana, from now onwards, I'm going to do my best. So I ask people on my coaching session about the intention. Because some people want to start a business because they want to show it off to their friends. And it never works. The intention is wrong. You are going on reverse. So some people want to start a new relationship because they want to prove to the ex that they too can be wanted. Reverse mode. You are moving from something, you are not moving towards something. Right? So a peace of mind is only created in our lives when we are working towards something, not away from something. Whatever we run away from is still holding us captive. We are the prisons to whatever we are running away from. We no longer think. When you are running from something, you are not thinking of where you are going. As long as you can run as fast as possible, wherever you can run to, as long as you are running, as long as you, even in the bush, have you ever seen yourself running from something at night? You don't care where you are stepping, as long as you run from that thing, which means that thing is still controlling you, which means that thing is still dictating your decisions, which means that thing is still fixing your life. So you are not living your life. You are living what you are running from. Peace of mind, zero. If your focus is about, I want to show her that, I can have someone better than him, you are not going to do that. You're going to have something just like him because you are running. So your focus is not what you want to build now. It's what you are running away from. This is why most people, after breakup, they still keep dating the same person of the same ex. So they have 10 exes who are just the same. Why? Because the relationship was not established on moving towards a beautiful future. It was established on trying to prove a point. Don't get in a position where you are proving a point. Don't. I still remember my partner, Hope, the mother for our daughter, Mika. She said to me, when you go into this field in Mumpuluki, stop trying to do what other people are doing. Stop trying to do it because someone made an event. Now you too want to make an event. The intention is wrong. You are controlled by other people now. You are giving them that control. So when people say something about your coaching sessions, don't respond. Go on what you want to build. As you focus on the future ahead of you, not the past in your past. You are willing to build something bigger and beautiful because the intention is right. The intention is not trying to prove other people wrong. It's not trying to prove someone wrong. We lose a peace of mind when we are running from something. Because that something now is building and helping us, or not helping us, is forcing us to dictate our steps every single day. Move towards something, don't run away from something. Stop trying to do what? Stop trying to move away from something. So the point number 2 is move towards something instead of away from something. Whatever you are running from is dictating your life. And we know today that many of us, we are still running away from something. We are still in a journey of proving some people wrong. And we realize that even after we prove them wrong, we are not happy. Why? Because the intention was misplaced. The vision has been torn apart when we are focusing on proving other people wrong. The price you have to pay for your peace of mind is to understand you are not running away from something, you are moving towards something. Whatever you are running away from is dictating your reality, is dictating your day-to-day steps. So when you are trying to prove your ex wrong, your ex-boss wrong, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband wrong, you are still controlled by them. And you're not in control. And when you're not in control, you lose yourself. When you lose yourself, downward spiral, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, feeling unworthiness, feeling like you don't matter. That's how we go to the deep of the hole, by trying to prove it wrong. But when you start taking intention that from now onwards, the script of my life is in my hands. I am doing what I can do today because that's what I want. I am moving towards a beautiful future. I am moving towards a better environment. I'm giving myself time to heal. Why? Because I want to build and establish a better relationship from now onwards. People who are in that intention, they wake up every day, they put one brick after the other and building a better and a beautiful future. Why? Because now they are operating from themselves. They are not operating from trying to prove a point. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to build your peace of mind by understanding that you only build it when you build yourself. You only build it when you are moving towards something and not just running away from something. What you are running away from is controlling you. Lisa Lord Ari, you are right, Mr. Makwana. Most decisions we make is to settle scores. And that is where we are not going anywhere on improving and growing from those disappointments. What disappointed you will continue to disappoint you if you are not shifting lanes, if you are not moving away from it, and you are saying, from now onwards, my focus is on appointment. And when your focus is on appointment, your mind, working magical, being your servant, continue to show you opportunities of appointments. What you focus on, you build in your life. Are so true. Fixing your focus to what is ahead of you and not what is behind you. Let bygones be bygones. And Lisa Lotare, this phase has taught us to be nice to ourselves, because at the end of it all, we still have only ourselves. Paradigm shift is imperative. Very true. Let me move to point number 3. Point number 3 is, let me see from my notes here. Oh no. Right, point number 3. Point number 1, we talked about building a belief system. And then point number 2, We talked about moving towards something, not away from something. Point number 3 is easy on expectations, which will be my last point for today. Easy on expectations. That most of the time we lose our peace of mind because we get what we did not expect. Let me show you a scenario of happiness levels and our cholesterol levels, the way they change when we have an expectations ahead of us. Let's take this scenario where someone calls you, they're at the mall, you are home, chilling, it's a Saturday afternoon, and someone calls you and said, hey, you can't believe this, I'm at the mall at your favorite shop, and I have something that I want to buy for you. I'm getting you 2 things that you really love. And when I get home, you will see them. I'm not going to tell you on the phone. And they buy 2 things indeed. What happens is, with expectations, you start thinking of possible things that they may be getting for you. And you're not going to operate from the reality of what they are getting. You are going to operate from your internal reality. Your thought is, oh, maybe it's a ring. He's going to propose. Maybe it's a car. Maybe it's a t-shirt. Or maybe it's that sneaker that I told him that I love, or that I told her that I love. Maybe she's going to bring that. So we start having the rise of expectations in the inside of us. And what happens is that's what we do. Every coming year, we have expectations. Every day, we have expectations. In our jobs, we do have expectations. Every encounter, guess what we have? Expectations. So now, the expectations we have, they can either build us or break us. Here's what normally do. Most people, even though they know it was their personal expectations, it was not something promised to them. Life owes you nothing on what you expect. Life owes you nothing. Your expectations are your expectations. Even if someone has been with you for the rest of your life, if you have expectations and you don't tell them what to expect, they will never be met. They cannot see through you on what you expect. They cannot see your expectations in your heart. So what most people do is that they don't communicate their expectations. And when they don't communicate their expectations, they hope that somehow, by magic, people around them, their bosses, their teachers, their spouses, their children, their friends, will meet their expectations. And guess what? Most of the time, 90% of the time, their expectations are not met because they never communicated their expectations. And then peace of mind levels from 100 to 0. Most people today are not happy, not because they are not getting what they want, because they have not communicated what they want. Jesus Christ. That's so profound that when we go around thinking that things are not going our way, the question is, have you communicated your way? Have you shared what you expect? Have you shared what you need? This is a very massive topic that in my program that I talked about, relationship dynamics. That most of the time we expect the things we never communicate. And when we don't get them, we get depressed. Why should you? While you never communicated your expectations. But that's not the line I want to talk about. I want to talk about the easy on expectations. That life does not owe you anything that you expect. The things you expected, sometimes you are going to get them, sometimes you are not going to get them. That's the truth, right? When you don't get them, you are not going to go downwards. You're not going to take your peace level from the thermometer of 100 to 0. You are not, because you don't get always what you want, right? You constantly don't get what you want, but sometimes life presents opportunities that seems like it's not what you wanted. To realize that actually this is what I wanted, but that can only happen from point number 1 when you talk about shift in mindset. That can only happen when you are able to say, you know what, for the rest of my life, I still remember the year 2012 when I got an admission letter from University of Botswana, and they said, we regret to inform you that you are not admitted to study in University of Botswana. Expectations not met. Depression level 0. Happiness level 0. Joy 0. So I was at 0, the law of the law. I was not happy. I was at the village and I said to my mom, UB didn't admit me. I'm not happy. That is where I wanted to be. That is where I needed to be. Now, we start thinking that we are deserving of certain things. So, it did not happen So what happened is this, the reality, which is the reality we have right now. The things you thought will happen by this time around, they are not happening. Here is the reality. Coronavirus, indoor. You can only survive indoor. Don't even hug people. Just greet from a distance. Stop going to the shops and saying and talking too much. Stop going to the shops and now interacting and just holding people's hands. Did you expect that? No. But you're not going to go depression. You're not going to stress yourself. You're not going to specialize on crying. So what happened was that in 2012, now I said, okay, fine. The reality is I am not admitted. What should I do now? Go and apply in a new school. Then I saw a paper there that Buang was making an on-spot admission. I went straight to apply. And I applied and I was in Buang. And guess what? In Buang, the expectation I had was that when you do 2 years and you do well in your BSc, you can actually go to University of Botswana to continue the study you wanted. Expectation now, arousal. Someone called you, I'm on the way, I'm getting you something. Now you're expecting something. So I expected that by year 2, I will make a shift to University of Botswana. Guess what happened? Year 2, doing well, my points, the best of the best in my class. The best of the best, among the top 3. The application shows up. You can actually study in Europe, and if your points are this way, your GPA is about 3.9, you can go and study at Europe in Finland, Karolinska University of Sciences. Now, there was a shift in expectations. Now, I said, UB, now, expectation for UB, now, I don't want even to expect anything from UB. I want to go to Europe. I applied for Europe, and I went to study in Europe. Karolinska University of Applied Sciences. What happens in our lives is that what we expected yesterday may not be the one we get today. But guess what? That is a step into getting what we really want. It's a step into now stepping in the zone where we must be in that lane. That is what we need to be mindful of. That when you don't meet the expectations you have, sometimes that pursuit of what you expected, it sets you in the next phase of a higher level of awareness, a higher level of opportunities. That every expectations you don't meet, don't beat yourself up. Every expectations you don't meet, don't beat yourself up and say, oh man, that's the end of me. I'm not going to study at UB. People are going to laugh at me. I'm going to the content farm. That was a setup for a comeback. That's what TGJs will say. It's a setup for a comeback. Every expectations you don't meet, everything that sets you back is a setup for a comeback. You are aware that as you keep taking actions, when you don't give up, when you keep protecting your peace and keep showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up, that one day that which you want to make a breakthrough, that is the reality of life. Life is waiting for the bold ones. Life is waiting for the courageous ones. Life is waiting for those who are willing to push forward even when forward does not seem like an option. That we need to get in a position of overriding our emotions and say, I am going to show up whether I get what I expect or not. Life does not owe me anything of what I expect, but I need to show up every single day without attaching my emotions to my results. Pinpoint there, very powerful, profound point there. Very important point there, because most people kill themselves when their emotions are attached to what they wanted. I wanted to go to UB, I didn't get UB. Now they are attached their identity to be failing, to be a failure. What they do, they kill themselves. They use drugs. They abuse themselves. They engage in self-destructive behavior. So now, when you are aware that your expectations are not always going to be met. Can we agree that today? That my expectations are not going to be met, but the level that where I am is setting me up for the next opportunity. So you are losing in stage 1, but you are aware there's still stage 2, stage 3. Don't be caught up in remaining where you are because things you expected were not happening. We move forward and upward. We move forward and upward. And every single day, we are going to show up knowing that things are not going to go as we plan them to do, but we are going to get better because of them. During this coronavirus, I am getting better. I have already completed my 6th book. I have already written new books that people don't know yet. But so when I start, I'm not even hesitant to launch them online, right? Because this is the best moment where people need encouragement, where people need motivation, where people need to be empowered, and I am positioning myself in a place to be a source of empowerment. I can cry and say, oh my God, our businesses are going to die. Or I can say, I can do something today. I can override what I expected. I'm expecting that this time around, I could have done 7 boot camps for different corporate, big corporate, companies that call me for to say, come and do our team building sessions. But today, it's not happening because what I expected the days that now we are in lockdown. I can sit down and say, oh my God, this thing is sent by the devil. I can do that, but I'm not going to do that. I see healing. I see growth. I see that we are evolving. We are getting better. This is the best moment to be alive. That we are going to improve how we do things. We are going to refine our skills. Now, the team building they expected, now I'm going to give them 170% when we open. Why? Because I am learning now. I have written a book now. What amazing employees do during crisis. Now I have value to add now. I am going to improve the way I do things. This is the time to do what you wanted to do. What you expected, you may not get. But we're not going to get on the past expectations. Today, we are building something new. That is what I'm challenging you to do. Stop focusing on the problem and focus on yourself. What can I do? Every single day, what can I do? Remember, I have a booklet. I can call it a free booklet. Yeah, great news. I welcome you today. It's a free booklet. Very, very cheap. Get the soft copy. Inbox me, 74776196. 74776196. I've been upgrading it ever since the first batch that I sent out. I've been upgrading it. If you need a reversed version, you can get it, right? So make sure you contact me. That every single day the question is, what can I do? That is our way forward. We are not going to lose ourselves. We are not going to lose our emotions. We are not going to beat ourselves up. We are not going to allow ourselves to be focusing and specializing on a crisis. We are specializing on ourselves, on getting better, on improving our relationships, on improving how we can do things. Growth is joy. I still remember the seminars we had, the momentum of the 2020 growth tour, doing it locally and going to do it in Eswatini. It was going well. Now the next place was Namibia, next place was South Africa, and then Lesotho and all that and all that. But guess what? Things don't come as we expected them. But what we have now is reality. You have been working for so long. Now shift the course. Change and head to the north. Now, you are going to make sure you change. That you are going to get better over time. You are going to improve over time. That is our commitment, upward and forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I can talk the whole day. I was born for times like this. So let me just say this. The price for peace of mind is that you are not going to borrow it from anyone. You're not going to buy it from anyone. The people you thought will be there, they may not show up. The people you counted on may not be the right people. The people you thought will come to uplift you, they may come to destroy you. And therefore, on your table of life, clean it today. Make it so clean. Stop having any expectations on anyone. And the statement that I'm going to share, our quote of the day that I'm going to share today is, stop expecting much from people who don't expect much from themselves. Stop expecting much from people who don't expect much from themselves. I want you to start expecting more from yourself and not from the outside, not from your boss, not from your mother, not from your husband, not from your spouse, not from your kids. Start expecting more from yourself because that one you have control over. Disappointments are going to come. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's not going to be a beautiful journey. It's not like I wake up every day and say like, oh man, I'm pumped up to motivate these people. There's a lot that I go through a lot. There's a lot that I remember watching an interview on the Red Table. Yeah, Will Smith, that one person I look up to when it comes to career and building a family. Will Smith said something when they were interviewing Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys has a song that I'm a superwoman. That even though I'm facing the rest, I still show up. I put a vest with an S on my chest that I'm a superwoman. She said, sometimes I write this song. Alicia Keys said this. She said, sometimes I write this song because I'm going through something and I use them to heal. That sometimes this thing that I'm talking to you about, I still struggle with. To be in a position to work on my internal peace. But I'm saying, let's hold hands and know that we can get through this. We can improve through this. That whatever we face every single day, we are going to take one step at a time to improve. Guys, tomorrow is our last day, and our last day, which means now I'm going to be focusing on my books. I'm going to be focusing on the programs that I offer, and one of the programs on leadership like this one is the Empowered Circle Leadership Academy. If you need to continue in my circle, if you need to continue learning from what I have to share with you, make sure you subscribe for those academy. Growth is not a once-off thing. You keep on growing every day. You are not motivated. The motivation you are getting today is not going to be there in the next week. The gentleman said to my mentor, "Oh, sir, Mr. Brown, motivation does not last." And he said to him, "So it's bathing. You need to take showers every single day. You don't bath and say, I've taken a bath in January for the rest of the year." You don't. You meet different things on the way. You meet different hurdles on the way. And you need to be prepared mentally and psychologically to be able to face whatever you are going to face. So I'm inviting you to my clan. I'm inviting you to my circle of influence, to my circle of empowerment, to my circle of motivation and growth, that we can grow together. We can get through this together. When we take care of ourselves, everything else around us can take care of itself. Let me read your messages before I can close. Growth is joy, coach. Show up even when there is no sign of breakthrough. Those from Orelise Markachoro. And then Liza, today you are speaking to my soul, and I'm privileged to have you as my mentor, and thank you for uplifting my soul. But true indeed, if someone doesn't believe in themselves, how can they believe in us? But only they believe. How can they? But only withdraw more and more from us. But stay blessed, coach. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. You are not meeting these words because you are lucky or because of coincidence. You are meeting them because they are meant to shape and build your life. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.